Alright, it's good to have you joined us. In our last video we created the header section. And of course we created the nav bar. In this video we are going to be adding some content to our main section. So we're going to be creating a main section. Of course we're going to be adding some content and styling it. Okay, just before we go back to the header section and the nav bar. So very quickly, first thing first, we have to create the div section from our main section. We're going to give it a class name of main. Okay, we'll put that in quote and we'll close this off and close our div down here. Okay, so first thing, when we're creating our nav bar, we use ID, and we use ID for our header, of course. But in our main section, because it's going to be a section that we're going to keep reusing, okay, the CSS rules that applies to it, we're going to keep reusing it. We have to use the class attributes. Okay, I remember in our previous videos when we talked about selectors, I mentioned that you use your ID for unique individual tags, and you use your class attributes for general tags. Okay, so this is going to be a general tag, and that's going to be our main tag. And we're going to create two paragraphs here, and I've typed out a bunch of text, and we'll just use that. First off, we'll create our h1, that is our header, our first heading, and we'll put some content in there. But first of all, let's close out our tags, and we'll just simply go to our Word document where I have a bunch of text typed out. First of all, I would just copy the header and paste it in here in between my h1 tags, opening and close. Okay, so I'm going to style this type this a bit more appropriately. Since it's an heading, we would like to start that with an uppercase. Okay, so next off, we're going to create our paragraph tag, that is our p tag. Okay, and we'll just put our paragraph text inside our p tag. Okay, so I'm just simply going to copy the text that we already have typed out and paste it down in our HTML documents. So we'll copy this and go to our HTML document and simply just paste. Okay, now we have our first paragraph typed out. You don't have to worry about this content. You can put whatever you like in your own page. This is just for practice or for the purpose of this particular class that we're taking. So we'll save this up pardon me, and we'll go to our CSS document, and we're going to be styling our class that we just created, which we call the main. Okay, and remember, when we are styling a class tag or a class selector, we use a full stop or period, and we're going to give it a background column. And I already created an RGB value for that, so I'll just type that out. No need to keep going over that. You know how RGB works. Okay, so our value for red is 207, our value for green 203, and of course our value for green is 177. We'll close that out. Come down here and we'll create a margin for our text, so that there will be proper spacing inside the borders of our text. I'll give it a margin of 10 pixel counts, and we'll create a border radius create a border radius of 5 pixels. Create a border radius of 5 pixels, and we're going to give it a padding of 20 pixels so that our work will appear nice and neat. The text will be properly aligned inside our main section, and we're going to give it a font size, and we're going to use percentage. I'm going to use percentage, and it will be 110%, and I'll explain that briefly. Remember, when we're styling our main body, we give it a font size of 14 pixels. Okay, give it a font size of 14 pixels. So this 110% is a function or a derivative of this 14 pixels. So we are saying we want our font size to be 110% of 14 pixel count. Okay, so we're scaling it up to 110% of this 14 pixels. So you can actually do that is a derivative, being that our body tag, our main tag, okay, our class which we created and called main is inside our body tag. We can therefore use percentage to scale up to this 14 pixel count. Okay, so next we are going to style our h1. Okay, and remember we did not specify class, or we did not create class for our h1, so we are simply going to call it by type, and the type of tag that it is an h1 tag. So we're going to give it a font size, and we're also using percentage here. Give it a font size of 120 pixels, and we're going to use the color red. So the color of our title or our header or heading is going to be red. Okay, so we've added the first main content, so I'm just going to save this. Okay, first of all, we created the content here on our HTML document using our header, our h1 for our heading, and our p tag to create our paragraph. And we came here and we style our main container div, okay, which our p tag and our h1 tags are nested within. So we're just going to save this and hit refresh and see what we've got on our browser as we begin to add our main content. And there you go. So first of all, we have this really nice background that we have created from RGB. Is a variation of gray, so it's pretty much like our dark slate gray, and we used RGB value to create that, and then we use red as our heading, and we have set this to 110% of 14 pixels. Okay, and our h1 is 120% of 14 pixels. We're going to add one more heading and one more paragraph to this. Okay, so let's just do that quickly in our HTML document. So we'll just go to first of all, we'll create our h1 tags, open and close. And we'll come to the middle here, and we'll simply go to the document that we have typed out, and we'll just copy and paste that into our browser, into our notepad or HTML text editor. We just paste this and make a few changes here. Okay, since this is a title, it's advised that you start all your the first letter of your title has to start with a capital letter or uppercase, or you can decide to just use uppercase all through for your entire title. Okay, so next off, we're going to create our paragraph or our p tags, open and close, and here we are going to put a bunch of text. Okay, and I'm just going to copy that from where I already typed it out and paste Okay, and just paste it here. Okay, so now we have our 2 paragraphs. We are just going to save this and hit refresh on our browser. We don't need to do anything in our HTML, remember, because this applies to both paragraphs that were created. So we'll just hit refresh and that should be it. Okay, so now we have this really nice looking layout with our 2 paragraphs, our header tags, and of course our navbar. Next off, in the following video, in the next video, we are going to be creating a sidebar. Okay, so that should do it for this video. We thank you for watching. We'll see you in our next class.